Kelli Anne Noftle. She is a poet, musician, and business manager who currently lives in San Diego with her husband and their 50-year-old Sulcata tortoise, Bong Rip. Her first collection of poems, I Was There for Your Somniloquy, was selected by Rae Armantrout for the 2010 Omnidawn Book Prize. Her new book of poems, Adam Cannot Be Adam, is now out from Omnidawn Publishing.
Thank you, Malvern Books, for hosting us, having us tonight. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm so excited to be in Austin, too. I haven't been here in 10 years, so it's a real treat. So thank you so much, and thank you for coming out. Just briefly, this new book, Adam Cannot Be Adam, was first, I guess, inspired. About 10 years ago, I found myself in 2 relationships at the same time, both men named Adam. And I really did think I was in love with both, and so that got really messy. And then the second thing, a friend told me to read a book-length essay called The Lonely Man of Faith by a rabbi, his last name is Somniloquy. And it's about the 2 narratives in Genesis. Genesis 1, narrative of creation, and there's another narrative of creation, so there's essentially 2 Adams, which I didn't know, and I grew up in like very religious home, so that was interesting to me. So the other thing is I reference a ton of Gertrude Stein. I was kind of obsessed with her when I was writing this. So in this story, I want both men named Adam. One Adam works in a textile factory. The other Adam keeps a jar of 10-year-old water on his shelf. When we mix pills with whiskey and sleep through dinner. Adam pounding on my front door. Adam ignoring my calls. The jar of water is a gift, he tells me. When we sleep inside a circle of white noise. Adam wants to have sex all the time, but the other Adam prefers to dream. Why there is a cat and sometimes a dog, between pleasure and intellect. When we drink margaritas that smell like Lysol. Adam's piano takes 3 months to tune. The piano tuner's wife is a fortune teller, he tells me. I drive to Adam's house after having sex with Adam. The fortune teller says he is a crab and he is a goat and I am a ram. When I see there is something growing in the jar. Adam tells me I must choose between them. Rams scare crabs, but crabs scare easily. When the cat brings fleas into my bed, between survivor and participant, Adam says I don't see the big picture. Why I paint the fireplace white. The fortune teller says goats and rams will fight like cats and dogs. That's what you can expect. Between impartial and fanatic. And so I ask about the jar. What is living inside? Adam says it was a gift, and Adam doesn't throw away gifts. Why the piano makes a linear sound. Adam is not a replacement for Adam. Between Genesis and Exodus. Rams eat goats, and goats eat crabs. What can you expect? When I am asked to choose facing the hallway, between containment and confrontation. In this story, the answer has 2 faces. It is a gift. I dated you both at the same time. Adam the taxonomist, Adam the expelled. One of you pulled the blinds closed. One of you peeled an orange. Adam the raindrop, Adam the waterfall. I dated both of you all the time to construct one. Adam the righteous, Adam the dirtbag. I wanted to write. The love of making is a system, a whole picture. I wore your jackets around your houses. Adam wool blazer, Adam hooded raincoat. I wore out your names singing them in the shower. Adam refined, Adam organic. I wore the whole in every part. I made them contained within the thing I wrote. Adam pursues me when I stop believing in him. After an incision, there is a moment of hesitation. I call him by his real name, Adam the utilitarian. When we were poor and ate a can of beans for dinner. He teaches me everything between quixotic and visionary. When we watched the cat piss on the floor. In his dream, someone takes a piece of him. Adam feeds me the details slowly. If it tastes like dirt, it must be good for me. Adam sleeps through an emergency. I wrap the leftovers in a plastic bag. I call him by his real name, Adam the covenantal. When at first the blood looks blue to mock us, I keep the bag tied tightly. Adam teaches me everything between. Vicodin from a vending machine. When we sat on a crate of soil samples in our living room, perfect, hole-punched pieces of earth. I call him by his real name. Why blood pools somewhere dark in the body, between communion and isolation. Why the bones shaped like a prison cell. Let us portray this Adam, the cartoon of his real body. I turn his disease into my thesis, between redemptive and majestic. In one story, when I was formed, pried apart and wrapped with plastic, I was inconceivable, burdened by companionship, a story of anybody called by name. An apple is nothing but a ripened ovary, all visible, left over. I wanted to make history less about the garden. What happens after each minor bruise reveals a landscape, the insistence of more? What happens when we act as if there is no use in a center? In my story, chips soaked to mush make paper. The oak touching the window eventually falls through. I draw a map for Adam on cardboard, how a childhood bends between ferns, moss, hickory roots. Why we collapse trees into categories, those that cannot self-pollinate or return as a piano bench. My photo of Adam hugging a redwood, why the ocean is bigger but less scary. In one story, I cover our faces with palm fronds. When he tells me to forget about forests, his cigarettes taste like sand, how a story collects dust on its surface, between pine needles and asphalt. In this version, I sleep on a stack of wood pallets. I trace a map of dead telephone poles, why the light falls in splinters. When Adam wakes up, the leaves disappear. Trees lose their limbs, between portraiture and photography. Whatever the land holds, it wants to uproot. So I use metal frames, mechanical pencils, vellum from calfskins, inspired by unexpected resemblances. We're born with this one face, and isn't it enough? In his story, the desert is filled with figs. A painting of the landscape reverses the statement, between thirst and indifference, between a rock and a featureless place. Try to decipher which Adam is here, which Adam is the name Adam, which Adam is the portrait, which Adam is the idea behind the word Adam, which Adam is the original, which Adam is behind the curtain, which Adam is her, which Adam is the one I am pointing to and away from. There's nothing new about sincerity. See Adam stand between a kitchen and living room, touching our curtain hung to split the spaces, says I don't, says he knows how to use the word irony correctly. Its dictionary definition too often displaced in Door's absence. I pull back the drape he pinched closed. He claims it keeps heat on the one side. How does that work? I don't do physics, but surely this is built in. Ironic division. Adam prefers correcting me. The gist of, so sorry, sincerely, from the bottom. I'm mistaken, my misuse, our bad apple. What's it called when you repeat a word too many times? Misleading. What's it called when we go bankrupt? Bad luck. As soon as we start over with an image of a water faucet, we picture how it falls dripping. A sleep machine set to waterfalls rushes us into stories we recognize as dreams when we follow Adam, following raindrops, counting them as a metronome on a piano bench. Measuring narratives, we divide pages to bind, books to fit, boxes to remember. The room grows hollow when a story stops here and begins again, portraying the picture of water or the hollow sound of it falling over hands. We want to wash this image into memory, wholly ours to assemble. For every meaning, there must be two names. For every experience, the image will show us how to let go of it. But the skin of a dream is resilient. Thank you, guys.